George Russell is your Singapore Grand Prix winner, but McLaren is your 2025 Constructors World Champions. McLaren has been in a class of their own all year long, having the best car each and every single time they've come out. And now, at least for the Constructors titles, that is locked up. But not without some inter-team controversy. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any racing, football, true crime, news, all that jazz. Let's dive into some... We'll talk about Russell first. I mean, he ran a perfect race. He had very little to no pressure the entire way through. He needed this race to be boring, and oh my goodness, was it boring. So, yeah, he got very fortunate with Max being able to stay ahead of Lando Norris, pretty much holding back the McLarens while Russell was able to scamper on off into the distance. Did he have the speed to hold off the McLarens? Probably, but we'll never know. Now, that controversy that we talked about with the McLarens, let's take a look, shall we? This is from the Formula One X page. This is lap 1, turn 1, from the dashboard of Lando Norris.
It's not fired up. This is on board with Lando Norris. He's got his teammate on the right-hand side, super aggressive into this one. He hit Max Verstappen.
So he barges into Max's gearbox, gets shot into Oscar, and Oscar did not take too kindly. This is what Piastri said on his radio. Not too long after.
No further action from the stewards. As a team, we can see Lando has to avoid Verstappen, so we won't take any action during the race. We can review further afterwards.
Mate, that's not fair. I'm sorry, that's not fair.
Oscar, we'll have the opportunity to review together afterwards. Focus on this race, mate. We can still have a good result here.
Yeah, but if he has to avoid another car by crashing into his teammate, then that's a pretty job of avoiding.
No further action.
Yeah, the gloves are off. The gloves are off. Oscar is no longer bound by getting to the Constructors title. That is now secure. That is done. That is over. And now the gloves are off. Oscar, I don't think for the rest of this season he is going to give Lando Norris an inch. They're going to try team orders. He's going to say he should say no. Screw off. Oscar is damn near at the end of his rope. He has been screwed over time and time and time again, and he is still, after all the screw jobs that he has gotten from the FIA, from his own freaking team, he is still the points leader. After this, he has a 22-point lead, so he can afford missteps. He can't afford any complete and total mess-ups. I almost said a very bad word. But I did. So 22 points separate Oscar and Lando. They're headed to the Americas, where they'll be going to Coda in a few weeks. Then they go to Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas. All couple tracks that I believe, I could be wrong, I'm going to double check here, that Lando performed very, very well at, oh, come on, 1 year ago, as we dive into the United States. Oh, he did outscore Oscar, but it was the Ferraris, which isn't going to happen again. I am very, very confident in that. And then Max had that, I think it was Lando that won. Oh, it was Sainz. Okay. But Lando did finish second, and Oscar finished 8th 1 year ago. Brazil, that was where Max won. And the McLarens really kind of fell. And this was at the point where they had the better car. McLarens did have the better car, and Mercedes won too. So we're heading towards a stretch where last year the McLarens actually struggled greatly. However, this car is a lot better than what it was last year. The Mercedes aren't as good as what they were last year. Now Russell, he is getting back into form. And obviously Lewis Hamilton is with the Ferraris, who have been just absolutely atrocious. But Lando Norris outscored Oscar Piastri in each of these races. And I believe there are... some of these have the sprint races. Well, I think the sprint race is in the U.S., in Brazil, and Qatar. I believe. I could be wrong, but I think those are where the sprint races are. So, this championship is not over, but Lando needs to be chipping away bit by bit and try to get to Abu Dhabi, where he has the chance to control his own destiny. He won at Abu Dhabi last year. Qatar, I don't remember what happened to Qatar. Max won. Okay. Max won, and oh, it was Oscar that greatly outscored Lando there. But yeah, as far as the race itself, it was a snoozer. Wasn't much happening. Lando couldn't get around Max. Max was able to pit early, stay ahead. I mean, it was a snoozer. Hopefully the 2026 package suits the track a lot better than what it did, than what this one has. But Max, even though he finished second, this is a pseudo victory. Singapore has not been his best track over the last number of years. So he finally getting the track down to the point where he can have a podium finish is it is a good victory. Now, for Lando to win the championship, like I said, 22 points separate the two. And we have We have 6 races left. So he's got to score an average of 4 points more than Oscar in each of the last 6 races. It is doable. It is very doable. like I said, in last time around, I believe Lando outscored Oscar in 5 of the last 6 races. Let's see. He did it there by 2, so that wouldn't be enough. Okay, so Coda, I believe, is a sprint race. In Mexico, Lando greatly outscored Oscar, this time by 14. So that's well on pace. Brazil outscored him by 4, so Las Vegas by 3. So that's still on pace. Qatar, Oscar outscored him by my brain farted. 13. So now we're back to the negatives. But then Lando gets that 24 point advantage. So if history repeats itself and we have very identical runnings, then we will have Lando Norris as a world champion. Now, obviously, the pressure of a championship was not on Lando. It was not on Oscar. Max had secured it by this point. Well, I think he officially secured it in... I don't remember where he officially got it, but Max, he had more than enough buffer. But if history repeats itself, and everything goes down as it did 1 year ago, Lando will become world champion. However, there are many different factors this year than last year. Ferrari is not as good. Mercedes, Kimi is not to what Lewis was a year ago. Alonso, he's making his little comeback. And then Max, he just doesn't have the car that he did a year ago. So, and also McLaren's cars are a lot better. So, Lando's got to, if they go tit for tat and consistently fighting 1-2, Lando's got to come out as 5 in 5 of the last 6. I don't think he can afford 2 Oscar Piastri wins should they go 1-2 the rest of the way. Now, are they going to go 1-2 the rest of the way? Not very likely. The McLarens have dropped off over the last number of races. So, kind of forecasting, if things go as they did 1 year ago, Lando will be world champion. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly the same, but it is possible. It is very possible. Now, we'll see how much McLaren actually gets involved. We'll see what the final point tally is on it. And see if some of the decisions made by McLaren throughout the year truly played a part in securing Lando a world championship. If it comes to that point. Because there were multiple points throughout the year where Oscar just got hosed by not just the FIA, but his team as well. Now, back to George Russell. George Russell still does not have a contract for the 2026 season. And this is important. We are in the final quarter of the 2025 season. He is not contractually, he at this point does not have a ride for 2026. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, because the odds of it is very, very low, but not zero. Red Bull, they have a seat open. They are looking for a second driver. And it would be the most Red Bull thing to go out and get Mercedes' darling driver and put him up with Max. A team is going to be better when you have two top-tier drivers. Would it be the best move for George Russell? Maybe. Maybe. It'd be a phenomenal move for Red Bull. It would give them leverage on Max. Because, I mean, it's been widely known. Max, he's probably going to go to the end of his contract and then go do something else. Whether it is running endurance racing or stay at home, be dad, and run for Team Redline. It's not... Max isn't going to be like Lewis and be around till his 40s. He's not. George Russell, on the other hand, may very well be the next Red Bull driver. Red Bull, they want to win that constructors title. They're not going to do it with Yuki Tsunoda, Isaac Hadjar, Alvin Lindblad, Liam Lawson in that second seat. They're not going to do it. But they can do it with George Russell. So, we'll have to see what all happens. How this all shakes out. But it wouldn't be absolutely unthinkable to think George Russell, hey, I want a multi-year deal. I want some security. Red Bull's giving that to me. Give him a 3-4 year deal. Give him, and you're going to be in what could be a better car. Obviously, we don't know how it's all going to shake out for 2026 with the regulation changes. Hell, we could see Audi or Cadillac be the top teams next year with the regulation changes coming. Nobody knows. It's who do you trust? Toto Wolff and McLaren, they whiffed on the last reg changes. Who's to say they don't do it again? Red Bull, they hit a home run. Ferrari, they smacked it out of the park. Even better than Red Bull initially. But Ferrari did Ferrari things. And McLaren whiffed so unbelievably bad. That you have to think that the chances aren't zero that Red Bull comes in, multi-year deal, lots of money. Come be with us, George. Come race along Max. It'd be awkward. Don't get me wrong, it'd be very, very awkward. It would be very, very contentious. But boy, would it be interesting. And that's what Red Bull is going for. Interesting and great. Because you have to look at Red Bull. This is a marketing campaign for Red Bull. This whole F1 venture, it is a marketing campaign. And yes, winning it helps hugely with the marketing campaign. But you get two drivers that may not exactly get along. That makes for phenomenal television. And to do it while winning, oh, it's a marketing dream. It is a marketing dream. So, let me know what you think. Can Lando Norris catch Oscar Piastri? Are we done? Or are we going to see McLaren begin to bare-knuckle brawl with each other? Are we going to see Oscar and Lando go at each other in ways we have not yet seen because they were trying to protect the constructors' title? We know Oscar's pissed. We know that. And that frustration is going to boil over. Especially if Lando is able to get one big shot across the bow in Austin, Texas. And is it possible to have George Russell give the middle finger to Mercedes, who has slighted him through these contract negotiations? And does George Russell turn around and sign with the evil empire of Red Bull and race alongside Max Verstappen? George wants money, security, and a good ride. Red Bull can offer him that. Mercedes seems to be very hesitant on it. So, let me know what you think down below. I am Dylan Helder. This is the Dylan Helder Show. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.